Hey there, you little mathematicians. Here we have a video that is the introduction to ratios. First, I want you to write down this definition of what a ratio is. A ratio shows the relative sizes of two or more quantities. Now, this sounds a little wordy, but really what's happening here is a ratio is just showing how two different quantities or numbers relate to each other. So you have this word relative, right? Just as your relatives are people who are related to you. What's happening here is we're showing how two quantities are related. Now what's really neat about ratios is they're kind of the first step towards higher level math like algebra and even calculus, where we're constantly wondering how two things change with relation to one another. So this is the first step on a long journey towards some really cool high-level mathematics. So some examples of ratios are 40 miles per hour. That's a ratio. We travel 40 miles every 1 hour. We're comparing two different things, right? The number of miles we traveled and the amount of time that's passed. Another ratio could be 3 cups of water for every 2 cups of rice, comparing the amount of water to the amount of rice. Those are two quantities. Let's look more closely at that sentence, 3 cups of water for every 2 cups of rice. We can express that as several different ratios, and ratios can be written in many different ways. So for example, first we might have the ratio of water to rice. Well, we have 3 cups of water for every 2 cups of rice. So you can express a ratio as two numbers with a colon in between it. Now we also might be interested in the ratio of rice to water. Well, there we have 2 cups of rice to 3 cups of water. So you can express it in words like that. Now we also might be interested in the ratio of rice to total amount of stuff that we have. Well, we have 2 cups of rice and we have a total of 3 cups of water plus 2 cups of rice. That's 5 cups total. So that's another way you can express a ratio as a fraction. And you would read that 2 to 5. Now back in the definition I said a ratio relates to or more quantities. So you can actually have ratios that have tons of different quantities. And here's an example of a ratio with 3 quantities. We could have the ratio of water, cups of water, which is 3, to rice, cups of rice, which is 2, to the total amount of cups, which is 5. That's another proper ratio. 3 to 2 to 5 is the ratio of water to rice to total. One of the most powerful and awesome things about ratios is their ability to simplify complex situations. So looking at this sentence here, in the year 2000, the ratio of male to female doctors in the United States was roughly, that is more or less or about, 5 to 2. I got this information from the World Health Organization website. Now, what this means is not that in the entire United States there were 5 male doctors and 2 female doctors and that's it. We know that there are way more doctors than that, even in just one hospital. So what this means is that for every 5 male doctors there were 2 female doctors. So that means that there were more than double the amount of male doctors than female. So this is just the way you can see how simple this little simple ratio can express a big and powerful truth that maybe you wouldn't be able to see in larger numbers. Of course, I'm hoping that over time that ratio these numbers become closer together, and I'm hoping that a lot of students at PMS will eventually help close that gap. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little neat info about ratios with you. Thanks for listening. Have a nice day.